Hello, hello. Welcome to Brush Hour. Had a light fall. Good old studio problems. How is everyone? Hello, Marco. How you doing? Nice to see you. Just gonna get the palette set up. Enter studio. There we go. How we doing today? It is Thursday, February 14th. Make sure this is set up right. There we go, getting the palette up. How are we doing today? Again, happy Thursday, almost the weekend. Hope everyone has had a great week. I have had a pretty good week. We went to the zoo today, so had a fun little trip running around. And yeah, so I also did a commission this week, which was lots of fun. Let me go ahead and pull that up and show you. I had so much fun with it. It was a commission for a friend's wife and of their adorable kiddo. And so yeah, I did a commission for their anniversary. And it was just so much fun. Let me pull that up real quick. I have to show. Yeah, so I framed it up as well, which was super fun. Here's the commission. A little fun headshot, 5x7. And then I framed it too, which I thought turned out really good with that. And yeah, so that was a big part of my week. Also, I had my last sergeant session for the 5-week block. I have my next one coming up, which is going to be focused on portraiture, finding a likeness, seeing a likeness, which is a big part of portraiture, is wanting to be able to find our likeness, find it quick. So we're going to be having a few weeks of fun with that and really kind of going into fundamentals, proportions, but also, yeah, really finding tools that will help you find that likeness. So I think that it's going to be lots of fun. So if you want to join, make sure that you go to francescabessettart.com. So I have all of that on there. You can register there. And I also have a Paint Your Pet coming up. That's at Sleepy Will in Chandler. So I'm super excited. That's also hosted with Pizza Port. I've done quite a few events with them and they're awesome. Thad over at Pizza Port, always a great time. And so yeah, this one we're doing Paint Your Pet and we have a few more tickets left. Not very, maybe like 2. So make sure you snag them if you're wanting to. But yeah, it's going to be lots of fun. And how it kind of works is once you register, you send in some pictures of your pet and you can, yeah, go ahead and I pre-draw them on canvas. And that way at the class, you learn how to paint, but you're not having to worry about actually the drawing process too much. So yeah, if you are interested in that, francescabessettart.com, you can register for that on there. And yeah, my other workshops there too. And as always, I do have my online learning on there as well. So you can learn away. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and be painting today. Big surprise. Why is this moving weird? There we go. I have this a little bit further back so it's not just like super close to me. Let's get it perfect. And zoomed in so it's nice and finicky. Okay. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm printing out my reference photo. And usually I use my iPad or something, but I have been enjoying printing out my references because I feel like it's a little bit easier to manage things because it can be so bright on our screen, so the values kind of tend to compete. So yeah, today I'm going to be painting James Van Der Beek, and let's see, it didn't print, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. In the meantime, also, this is where I ended with my workshop, the 5-week workshop, and it's definitely lots of fun. I had such a nice group of people. Ah, I am batting 1,000 today. There you go. Get it right on there. Okay. So yeah, I had fun with this one. This was from a student from a class. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and print my reference. It is nice having a printer at home, so you can do that. Live model is always the best, but get to use some technology. Okay, let that go. Okay. And yeah, so if you are watching, you're welcome to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, or if you're going to be pulling out your own supplies, feel free to have fun with that. And make sure you drop up a comment and if you are having any questions. Well, that's printing. Getting kind of just reset up. I did get this week some just random cheapo brushes online, and I was super happy with them. They're super soft, and I did most of my commission with them. Okay, so here's my picture doing James Van Der Beek. He unfortunately passed away the other day, and just so sad. So I thought it would be maybe a nice tribute to be able to paint him. So yeah, super sad. He had quite a few kids. Yeah, I thought it would be interesting to do. Reminds me of childhood for sure, as I'm sure a lot of others. I remember like when Dawson's Creek actually came out, and turn this off. Can like vividly remember seeing the preview on it. We're like scrolling through, and I remember my mom being like, I don't know about this show, because it definitely was a little bit older of a show. But yeah, lots of fun memories. It kind of just takes you back, right? So what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and hone this. I know, I'm just using Gamblin's 3-in-1 as my medium. Let's warm that up a little bit. Get some yellow in there too. And this is just a panel. I love painting on panels instead of canvas. I just feel like it kind of gives us a little bit more rigidity. I'm not fighting against the bounce of a canvas. So unless I'm going to go like super big, it's nice to do a panel. And when we were at the zoo today, I was it was so beautiful. It's like so much nicer to go like in the late afternoon. So like when Delilah wakes up from her nap, we kind of already have everything ready to go. And yeah, we get after it. And there's like not a lot of people there. Usually have gone, historically during the day, and everyone's there, all the school field trips and stuff. So it's kind of nice. And it's like it's just later in the day. So there's all these beautiful shadows and such. It's really, really pretty. Okay. And yeah, at any point you can't hear me, let me know. Hopefully the audio is good. And anyone that's on, if you can give me a thumbs up and let me know that it's on, that would be cool too. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get I don't want to go too big. In fact, I can just even measure out his head. Just using my measuring tools. Let's move him up a little bit. Definitely has like a longer face, which, speaking of finding a likeness, I like to kind of see those things, like we always can work on proportions and know where things line up and such, but it is really important to kind of just know that there's always exceptions depending on the person. Some people have longer noses, some people have shorter, smaller noses. So when we can kind of observe and see like what is different about this person than just the average person. And usually it's like the proportions that are unique about that person. So like, eyes are typically halfway down the face. Well, sometimes it's not exactly halfway, although for him right now, let's see. Yeah, it's not, his chin goes a little bit longer, so. Yeah, I always like to see like what could be unique about them. And I'm just measuring. And yeah, it's super boxy, which most men are. But yeah, back to what I was trying to say about the zoo is I took a bunch of photos for like of the landscape because that had, you know, it's so beautiful there in general, but especially in the evening when those, the sun is starting to go down, we start to get the golden hour and everything, and um, everything just kind of like glows and all these beautiful shadows and such. So, yeah, I've been just trying to get some more sort of photos to be using. Really, um, you know, as you might know, the it's so hard to like get, a photo to give justice to what a beautiful, landscape or image can be. And so I do want to just be able to bring my easel and do that, or even just, um, quick sketches. And that way I can then go back to the studio and, use the photo references I use, but then use the actual sketches as my guide for the design, the overall like composition. So fun. That's, thanks, Matt, for letting me know the audio's good. How are you doing? Oh, and I always talk about making sure I'm standing far enough back, and I need to make sure I'm actually doing it. It's so hard when I'm like recording to do that, but it's so important. You just see it so different. Okay. So far, it's okay. I'm still like squinting. I feel like it always looks like I just can't see anything when I'm painting. Or sometimes if I'm out somewhere and trying to like see like how I would paint something and trying to find like big shapes and such. And yeah, it just looks like I'm like probably blind. Um, but the squinting and comparing is your friend. Okay. And yeah, one of my students actually from my um, sergeant workshop, virtual workshop, we were talking a lot about that, about like finding different shapes in our composition, and especially for some um, drawing from life that he has done, and they're all like so beautiful, and it's just fun how you can really get a lot out of the same sort of scene. You can have different large shapes to build your composition to lead the eye, and um, yeah, there's just so much fun you can do that. And doing some tonal studies is always fun to do as well, which we definitely will be doing um, in the new workshop. And that'll be starting uh, March 17th. Okay, let's get this. Very specific mouth. Maybe that's a little too far over. We always talk about the 5 shadows of the face. So our 5 shadows are under our eyebrows, under our nose, under the top lip, under the bottom lip, and then under the chin. And so those are always these anchors that you can find. And even though we have those 5 shadows of the face, we also want to make sure that we're honoring the value of those shadows of the face. So different people have different volume that goes in and out. Some people have longer noses, you know, more volume in their lips, or their brow bone protrudes out, or the opposite. So your shadows might be less. So like in this case for him, which you can kind of see right here, you know, he doesn't have a lot of volume like in his lip right there. And so that's just part of his anatomy. So we're not going to see a big dark value there. And if we were to add that, it wouldn't look like him. It would look like he went and got, you know, fillers in his lip, and that's not him. So I want to make sure that, you know, I'm getting those proper values within those shadows of the face. And he definitely has a lot of it under the chin because he has this powerful chin. Matt says, pretty good. Been working on photos most of the week, so now taking a break with pastels. I mounted pastel paper on boards for the first time. That was fun. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I haven't really, I love pastels. I haven't played with them enough, but I will say, playing with different crayons and such with the baby, just Crayola, it makes me want to bring out more of the pastels because there is so much you can do with it. You know, as far as like the sides you're using of the pastel, like how much, you can really have fun with it. You'll have to send me some photos of like even the setup. That's lots of fun. But yeah, I have. Are you using like soft pastels, hard pastels? But yeah, so even the shadows of the face can be nuances of your subject. Right now, I'm just really trying to get the posterized version of him, and the squinting is what's going to help with that. If I don't squint, you can kind of guess. And actually, like the more you do that, the more you can squint and compare, the more it just becomes a little bit more natural to find those shapes. So it's just also good practice. I'm gonna move up his hair a little bit in just a minute, but I don't want to get too distracted. And that is going to be too long. And Matt, there's actually, I don't know what paper that you're using for the pastel, but Jerry's has a bunch of really cool different textured type paper. That seems fun. Okay, so I'm just gonna give this indication of this lower lip or underneath it. And I'm just trying to really draw that shape because I'm really, again, trying to get this like posterized version instead of it looking too sloppy. Definitely going to also be getting this like jawline of his because he definitely has a powerful one. Okay, and I can get the neck. And he has, yeah, so he's actually, as I'm, like drawing him, it is interesting seeing these differences in proportions because his neck too really does, it's like very wide on him. But seeing where those line up as well really will indicate what, someone looks like. Some people, everyone's necks vary. Matt says, soft mostly, but I just bought some Sennelier woodless hard pastels. Nice. I'm using Sennelier's Le Carte Pastel. No washes allowed on that, only dried pigments. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Sennelier is a really good brand. They have all sorts of stuff. I have some of their paints, but I do have their some of their pastels, and they also have oil sticks that I have been meaning to use, and I just don't. It's like we get so used to our process, and yeah, it's like good to break off from that. Still squinting, still squinting. Okay, this one is pretty fun so far. Okay, I'm trying to get a nice, beautiful color for the ears. The ears are always super red, or have lots of saturation. I just want to make sure they're placed right because the ears tell a big story. Everything really does. So, it's all about, again, putting our puzzle pieces. Probably, if you've been watching these for a bit, you probably have heard me say that a bunch. What an awesome tux he's wearing too. I'm actually using some of this Michael Harding's Brilliant Pink right here for this temperature, and then also because of how this velvet suit and tie that he has, it's all reflecting up on him, so I don't want some random other color. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to do too much down there, so it's not competing like with him. But yeah, I haven't used Sinelli's hard pastels, just their soft. So you'll have to tell me how you like them. I'd like to do more, mixed media with stuff like that and have that throughout the background, and it's a fun way to play with different mediums. I'm just kind of popping in where I want the most saturated areas. Okay, I'm getting a decent likeness. The one thing I can definitely see, especially as I kind of like lean back, is I want to get his hair a little bit, the shape a little bit better. These brushes I got, and I think they were like $13 for a pack of like 13 or 12 or something like that. If anyone wants a link to them, let me know. But they're super soft, and they don't feel quite like Sable, but pretty close. So can't beat the price on that, especially. But yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna, I do love some really, nice fancy brushes. But if I'm gonna splurge, I'd rather it be on like good paint. Because we can finger paint even if we wanted to, but we can't paint without paint. So a bit better. I can see. Yeah, it feels also like so weird with just everything. I was talking a little bit last week, but it's just, everything is just so crazy in the world right now. And it kind of feels weird not even addressing that. But I do think that, like, um, I hope everyone is like being, I don't even know what the right word is, but just like in an okay place, because it's kind of getting crazy and dark out there with everything that's kind of coming to light and such. So, yeah, I mean, I think I was talking last week just how sometimes it feels a little weird or almost like guilty enjoying, art or trying, like escaping with it. And, but I do think it is just really important also. And so, I don't want to let that be taken away, even though everything's a little uncertain and weird. But yeah, I've talked to a lot of people that are kind of like struggling right now with their mental health and everything. And so I hope that everyone's doing what they can to like, you know, be easy on them and yourself, and be getting out, which is what I've been trying to do because I work from home. stay-at-home mommy sort of thing. So it can get a little, you know, you gotta like get out. Life is really beautiful. Okay, so yeah, I really do like how that looks. Marco, doing good? Question mark? Doing good. Thank you, Marco. Okay, so I'm gonna start maybe filling it in. Wow, it's already 7:37. It's so crazy. Okay, yeah, so I think I am gonna get a different brush. But yeah, these brushes, they're like super soft. They are synthetic, I believe. Um, and I love a brush that can go to a nice point, but also is soft enough to where I can really like manipulate that brush. Because I want to have control of the brush. If a brush is too stiff, which also, you know, there's always a time and place for that. But I think it's good to have control of your brush. Okay. So what I'm going to do is start with some of the perimeter first. I usually pre-mix everything, so we'll see how this turns out. It's just a little bit quicker this way, but right here is where I'm just kind of messing with my palette over here. I've been introducing olive green back into my palette. I used to use it more and kind of stopped, and now back at it. Man, it's so easy because you can really just slap on the more gray and the you know, the cools in the face. You want to be careful with women though, because it can make them look like they have a beard. Oh, let's get back to right here. And I'm just gonna like be adding more color to the cheeks underneath here, which I'll adjust later, but I've been liking kind of adding some temperature underneath a bit. And just for, yeah, because I mean, everyone's brain works differently, but I feel like it helps me maintain something colorful. Oh, Matt, I didn't see you said I really like them. They complement the traditional pastels nicely and allow you to add more fine details. Oh, that's a good point because it's not so soft. So I imagine it would move around nicely like that. Okay, let's go up a value. Oh, and you know what I'm going to do too is I want to get a little bit of something in like the background. Because I do like how there's these circles. Because this was at the Grammys, I think. Was it this year or last year? So it's just so sad when he passed. There's something about these brushes that like it just really you can load the paint in, which we really want to make sure we're like adding, you know, a bunch of paint to our paintbrush because we need to paint with paint. And I see that a lot in my classes and such with students that we tend to we tend to want to be really, you know, too conservative about how much paint we were putting on our brush. And we want to make sure that we're not too scared of that because we need paint to paint, right? So, oh, and I do have a Klimt workshop coming on the 21st at Mesa Art Center. Um, and I'm just popping some warms and cools places too, which is a lot of what I'm doing right now, which is something that we'll get into a lot of in the portrait workshop that I have coming up, my virtual one. And it's a 5-week one. And the 5th one is just kind of like a wrap up, you know, like where we kind of like will discuss things and do some like, you know, critiquing and even on like other things that people are working on. But we'll be doing some drawing in it to start, to do some studies and get some tonal studies as well. And then, yeah, so do more of that. And then we're going to switch to painting throughout it as well. Anyone that's super new to painting and, you know, doesn't want to get too, or, you know, might feel too intimidating, don't, because I'm going to structure it where even if you're just dipping your toe in it, we're going to do simple palettes, or limited, I should say. And then anyone that wants to just do grisaille, so black and white, working on just your values, you can totally do that. There's a lot to learn for that. Let's see. What do I want to add? I want to make sure I'm getting the right temperature and value where I'm going. Let's fill the rest of this in. Oop, that's too dark. I need to bring his nose in a little bit more. Let's go ahead. I got about 10-ish minutes. I got kind of a late start, so I might go just a couple minutes after maybe. So I'm added a little bit more like yellow to my brush. Yeah, these brushes are so fun. I mean, you can just like really load the paint on here, and that way you can like let the brush kind of do its thing. I want to do in the next few weeks, do for brush hour, might go over to Scottsdale, the Scottsdale Art Walk, and down to the galleries and such, and do some live stuff. So just kind of like look at some art. My favorite gallery down there has to be Main View Gallery. It has just all, I mean, just such beautiful pieces, a lot of historic ones, a lot of people that are still, or, you know, artists that are alive, but some that aren't. In particular, I've talked about before on here, but Pino. So Pino was the one that basically made Fabio, or created Fabio, and he also did like at least 1,000 other magazine and movie covers or posters. And so yeah, he has a few of them. Sometimes, or some of them have sold, but which is what a gallery should be doing. But yeah, so he just has, the owner is wonderful, wonderful man, and great pieces. I remember when Ryan and I came across the the gallery. We actually went um, for Valentine's Day and just kind of like stumbled upon it. And I went in and I just like couldn't believe it. I saw the Pino, who I had been like um, loving his work and really studying some of it. And so it was just like very serendipitous to walk in there and see that. Yeah, there's lots of other really amazing galleries down there too. So this will be a brush hour field trip. Okay, I'm gonna try to get this bottom area down. Okay, let's get this up here. Okay. And I think I'll work on this a little bit later too, just to finish it up. And I will definitely post that on Instagram tomorrow. And yeah, I'm going to over the week. Matt, I can't remember if you were on the very beginning when I was going over this, but um, I took a bunch of photos at the zoo when we went today, and I'm excited to like add some landscape the um, into my pieces, like even, as is, but yeah, being able to go somewhere and especially in landscape to get like a sketch of what you're actually seeing versus what, because I feel like every time, there's like a great view of something and you take a photo of it, sometimes it can, be hard to capture. So to be able to get that composition that you're like actually seeing, just in a sketch, and then use the photo reference later, for color and, any other sort of, any other help with the process. Well, yeah, I'm trying to like figure out what that is going to entail, because goal of mine is to be doing, I teach a lot, so I'm doing a lot of like portraits and such, but it's time to start doing a little bit more. So I'm excited to kind of hold myself to that. I'm going to get his nice sly smile in here back. Kind of went away. Yeah, and Valentine's Day is this weekend, so I hope everyone has a good Valentine's Day, and whatever Valentine's Day means to everyone. I feel like growing up, my mom was always so big about making Valentine's Day so special and sweet. And so Valentine's Day always really reminds me of my mom because she made it so fun growing up. So, thanks. Well, thanks for hanging, Matt. Hope you had fun. Feel free to send me what you're working on. I'd love to see it. I am going to just make a couple adjustments on here. We'll see if the baby in the other room with Daddy will be good. It's getting to be her bedtime. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I feel like I could get, just like I was saying in the beginning, he has this, he has a chin, quite the chin. So let's go ahead and really anchor that in. Yeah, I mean, I think I could do a few more things, but it also is good to put the brush down for a little bit. And that way I can get a better eye. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. It's kind of hard doing them in the smaller panels, but because it tends to, like I tend to want to like it to grow. So I have to be a little intentional about that, but you can get a quicker portrait that way too. So that's always nice. Let's see. The only things I would work, I want to like get more of the forms of the face. So where everything kind of turns and such. Oh, that's a big spot right there. It's kind of more thin. Let's get that little smirk right there. Okay, well, I think I will call it for now, or I'm gonna get up, see a little further away. It's okay. I feel like see a few more things I could do, especially like the hair. So I can't help myself. Let's do it. So I'm just kind of getting a darker color going. Yeah, because it like goes way out. I'm telling you, taking a step back is so important. If we are seeing our portrait or whatever we're working on so close, we just can't really see it for what it is. We're seeing imperfections that you can't see from a distance. You're seeing detail that you can only see here that don't matter from far back. So yeah, it's really important to make sure that you're checking those things. Taking pictures of it also is super beneficial because it's the same thing. You can kind of like our eyes are really forgiving. So we don't see things that are there. Kind of like if you take a picture of something and then all of a sudden you see maybe something in the background, or you're taking a portrait of someone and you see the plug on the wall, but you didn't, from the naked eye. We can't see, imperfections quite as much with our eye as we can with a camera, or a mirror is another big thing too. This is a fun little tip for anyone that is still on, is if you have a mirror, you can have it like this and you can see it backwards. And by being able to see it backwards like this, you can see more errors as well. Same thing if you turn it upside down, but this is good a habit to get into, because if you have a live model, you can do this. You can't turn your model upside down and your reference upside down. It won't work the same. So yeah, this is a great way to see, what is going on. And all of the great master painters would do that. So um, be a little darker. Okay, so yeah, I hope everyone had a great time. Hope you learned something or at least had fun. Yeah, so I will work on this a little bit more because I could see some stuff, but it's always a good study to do, even those smaller ones too. But yeah, so if you have any suggestions for me next week, let me know. If there's anything you want me to talk about, let me know in advance as well. I'd love to do that. So I will see everyone next Thursday and maybe a little bit throughout the week too. Okay, guys, I'll see you later.